Riot Inc. investors.
Bruner also pointing to GAI investigation showing coordination across cities like Portland, Seattle, and Chicago, involving people who were paid and transported to participate in the unrest, specifically naming some major funding sources like George Soros's Open Society Foundation,
the Arabella Funding Network, the Tides Funding Network, Neville Roy Singham and his network, Foreign Cash.
Designated as a domestic terrorist organization, Antifa, which is short for anti-fascist, is an ideology, not necessarily an organization. But it's been accused of organizing or encouraging violent riots, most notably during the 2020 Defend the Police protests and the more recent attacks against ICE facilities. Now, Bruner did urge the IRS and Office of Management and Budget to review or revoke tax-exempt status for nonprofits that are misusing funds, adding federal authorities could use RICO statutes to target networks as well. Reporting for the National News Desk, I'm Jeff Harris.
Most Americans do not approve of the way Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is running the nation's health agencies. That's what a new KFF poll suggests. Nearly 6 in 10 adults in the U.S. say they disapprove of Kennedy's overall job of performance, according to the poll. Overall, about 4 in 10 adults say they consider themselves supporters of the MAHA movement, and within the movement, about 30% say they disapprove of the way Kennedy is handling his role as HHS secretary. Under Kennedy's leadership, there has been a complete overhaul of the independent committee that advises the CDC on vaccine guidance. A North Dakota judge upheld the state's ban on gender-affirming care for children. The judge said in his decision that the law discriminates based on age and medical purpose. The ruling means parents who decided to seek gender-affirming medical care for children after the ban took effect in 2023 will need to do so out of state. Nearly half of U.S. states have banned gender-affirming care for minors. The National News Desk, team of reporters, is bringing you the headlines from coast to coast. We're taking the pulse of America, and we start in Appomattox County, Virginia, where law enforcement is increasing efforts to find 2 teenagers.
I hope to God that I'm able to see her again, and I can't imagine doing life without her.
Dina Robertson says she woke up in the middle of the night and learned her daughter, Zoe, was missing. She says Zoe took the family car without permission to pick up her boyfriend, and it isn't the first time.
Because they want to be together all the time, and there was a no contact order to keep them away from each other because they just had a tendency to get in trouble.
Both teens are now facing charges for being involved in a police chase that law enforcement ended for safety purposes. The teens are believed to be in the Philadelphia area after being spotted on a security camera. In Las Vegas, Nevada, a woman is facing over 50 felony charges for allegedly posing as a nurse and providing unauthorized medical care to students. 44-year-old Crystal Scott is accused of improperly giving injections of insulin to Clark County students as young as 5 years old.
You have someone who's not licensed, who's acting as a nurse, who's doing things that are apparently medically unnecessary. This is a huge problem. And it's not just this individual, but a systemic failure.
Police say Scott was not a registered nurse and held no medical licenses and used the license numbers of others to fill lab orders. And in San Antonio, Texas, Governor Greg Abbott ordered the Texas Department of Transportation to remove political ideology from roadways. That means that rainbow crosswalks are on the chopping block, and if officials don't comply, cities could lose government funding.
We're a community of love and acceptance and inclusion, rainbow crosswalk or not. Of course, we're not gonna stand down from even this fight.
The Department of Transportation says local jurisdictions must comply within 30 days.
From major flood threats to high winds, millions of Americans now bracing for some severe weather to hit this week in the 2 areas right now specifically on high alert. What's next here at the Live Desk?
Magic is back and better than ever.
I'd like to give you a magical moment.
All they have to do is fool Penn and Teller.
Let's try. I'm going to do something truly impossible.
Is it safe? Probably not.
One of the most amazing tricks you've ever seen, but we don't think you fooled us.
We wanted to do something that's really our own.
This is the part where I get hated. But not tonight because you fooled us. Bring down the trophy!
Friday at 8 on CW34 WTVX.
This is it. The last weekend, the last days to shop the incredible Rooms to Go Fall Holiday Sale. Check out our amazing selection of great-looking furniture on sale for this limited time. Save on living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, mattresses, and more. Plus, get interest-free financing until January 2030. Yes, you get both. Low sale prices and interest-free financing till January 2030. Hurry, it's the last weekend. Shop the Rooms to Go Fall Holiday Sale now through Monday, October 13th.
My name is Andy Titleman. There was a forklift accident. It broke my foot as well as about 3 toes. I was in terrible pain. I didn't know quite what to do. Before I hired Morgan & Morgan, I did call a few other places. The other places denied helping me. I called Morgan & Morgan, and they accepted me kind of like with open arms. I don't believe I could have done it without Morgan & Morgan. There is a reason I called Morgan & Morgan. They are for the people. They showed me that they were for me.
Don't miss The Big Bang Theory, weeknights at 7 on CW34.
Here's a look at a powerful nor'easter now developing that could pose some serious threats for tens of millions of people along the East Coast this weekend. North Carolina right now on high alert after recent storms turned up rough surf, as you see here, causing several homes along the Outer Banks to fall and get really swept out into the Atlantic. Experts now warn this very site could be a repeat and happen once again this weekend. Flooding has already slammed parts of Florida's East Coast. These are the conditions out of Jacksonville, Florida. You see widespread flooding there. Now, this particular type of flooding is created by higher than normal tides, not rainfall. Now to the southwest, more than a month's worth of rain could soon fall over the entire region due to the aftermath of Hurricane Priscilla. Let's take you out live to Phoenix, Arizona tonight. That area will be hit with near record levels of moisture. Millions there are about to experience a level 3 out of 4 for flash flooding. That will hit tomorrow.
Think you're doing yourself a favor by drinking diet soda? Well, a new unpublished study found that drinking just 1 can of diet soda a day may boost the risk of non-alcohol fatty liver disease by 60%. Researchers also noted that drinking a sugary beverage could raise that risk by 50%. Participants who substituted water reduced their risk by nearly 13% for sugary drinks. California is the first state to legally define ultra-processed food. That's after Governor Gavin Newsom signed the Real Food Healthy Kids Act. It defines ultra-processed food as that which may contain high amounts of saturated fat, sodium, added sugar, and certain additives. The law requires health officials to determine the ultra-processed food most harmful to human health, and that food will be banned from schools.
Candidates for Virginia's governor clash in tonight's first and only scheduled debate for the race. In the next 90 seconds, the text messaging scandal that put Democrat Abigail Spanberger on the defense.
The pumpkins, the candy, no tricks, all treats. Don't be scared. Treat yourself to a scary good deal today from the original Florida Window and Door. Now buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Yes, buy 2 Cat 5 windows and get 2 absolutely free. Choose the Turtle Tough windows you can trust from the original Florida Window and Door. Call me today at 8665-SHELLY for a free quote. That's 8665-SHELLY or visit callshelly.com.
Have you ever considered getting a walk-in tub? Well, look no further. Safe Step's best offer just got better. Now, when you purchase your brand new Safe Step walk-in tub, you'll receive a free shower package. Yes, a free shower package. And if you call today, you'll also receive $1,500 off your entire order. Now you can enjoy the best of both worlds with the therapeutic benefits of a warm, soothing bath that can help increase mobility, relieve pain, boost energy, and even improve sleep. Or, if you prefer, you can take a refreshing shower all in one product. Call now to receive a free shower package plus $1,500 off your brand new Safe Step walk-in tub.
Call now, 1-800-709-1919. There's never been a better time. That's 1-800-709-1919.
Now to that much anticipated debate in the race for Virginia governor. Democrat Abigail Spanberger and Republican Winsome Earl-Sears squaring off on stage. Just minutes into that debate, Spanberger was pressed about her support for Jay Jones. He's the Democratic nominee for Virginia Attorney General. Jones suggested in newly resurfaced text messages that a Republican colleague, the former Speaker of the House in Virginia, should be shot in the head. Earl Sears pounced on the opportunity for Spanberger's reaction to the controversy, as the Democrat has refused to call on him to exit the race.
Will you continue to endorse Jay Jones to be the next Attorney General of Virginia? And were you aware of these text messages before they released? You have 30 seconds.
In fact, it appears that it was those who released the text messages and held them for years. So the public was unaware who had knowledge of these text messages for many years.
What did you do about
I
it? Please
learned of
give
these
her the
text messages the day that they came out, and I denounced them as soon as I learned of them.
Now, she never actually answered the direct question there. The Virginia Police Benevolent Association, which has endorsed Spanberger, issued a statement just this week demanding that Jay Jones not take office if he is elected.
And a new poll shows Democratic Virginia Attorney General candidate Jay Jones's support among likely Virginia voters has dropped since news broke of Jones's violent texts. According to the polling from the Republican Attorneys General Association on September 7th, before the violent text story, it showed Jones leading Miara's 46.4% to 42.5%. Then on October 7th, after the Jones text story broke, Miara is leading Jones 45.8% to 43.7%. A 2026 cost of living adjustment announcement for Social Security is expected this month, though the government shutdown could affect the timing. Experts project an increase of 2.7 to 2.8%. That's based on the latest government inflation data. Millions of Social Security beneficiaries will get a boost on their monthly checks in 2026. And in Michigan, Governor Gretchen Whitmer just signed a bill that will eliminate tax on Social Security tips and overtime. For those of you leaving us tonight, thank you for watching. We hope you have a great rest of your night. Coming up next here on the National News Desk, 4 dozen hostages may finally be headed home. The careful next steps happening now in Gaza. Plus, Capitol Hill scandal tied to the Chinese Communist Party. Why a U.S. diplomat is now out of a job due to a Biden-era rule.
Plus, California gubernatorial hopeful Katie Porter caught yet again having an outburst. Who she was seen yelling at and why her campaign says she's still the frontrunner.
You're watching the National News Desk, America's News Now.
I was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer the day after Christmas of 2013. I knew that Moffitt was where I needed to be to live.
Your first choice for treating gastrointestinal cancers is your best chance for beating them. So choose Moffitt first.
I'm a registered nurse at Moffitt Cancer Center, and I'm also a 10-year stage 3 colon cancer survivor.
Moffitt is accelerating the science for the early detection and treatment of all gastrointestinal cancers.
I take a lot of joy in being able to impact other people's lives. They look at me and see hope and see that I'm on the other side of the journey.
Moffitt's advanced treatment and breakthrough clinical trials are providing survival outcomes up to 4 times the national averages.
They saved my life. I appreciate every day.
Call Moffitt to connect with a gastrointestinal cancer expert.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. So yeah, you don't just get some lawyer. You get an army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Landon Donovan and Tim Howard, 2 soccer icons, talking about the game their way, unfiltered.
If we're gonna get beat, you're gonna walk off the field limping. That's the exchange.
Unfiltered Soccer, presented by Volkswagen.
Watch the National News Desk weekdays at 6 a.m. on CW34.
Today on iCrime, a scooter on the freeway.
We need to deal with the scooter guys.
Showdown between an unshakable homeowner and a gang of suspected thieves. And this.
I got you on camera, jackass.
I'm sending us to the police, you idiot.
Oh my God.
Elizabeth Vargas, and this is iCrime. A domestic disturbance call in Phoenix leads police to a standoff with an armed man who refuses to drop his gun. A woman calls 911 to say her brother is armed with a knife and a gun, threatening to harm himself and others. When police respond to the woman's home address, her brother is gone. But after they hear several shots coming from a nearby convenience store, they find a wounded employee in critical condition. We're about to show you police body cam footage of the search, takedown, and arrest in March of 2023. Caution, this footage contains gunshots which may be upsetting to viewers. The suspect can be seen crossing the street. An officer runs toward him and shouts a command. Hey, shoot your head! The suspect responds first by raising his hands. As he throws the gun at the officers, shots are fired. Stop. Miraculously, the suspect is not wounded by the gunshots. He threw the gun! The officer chases the suspect on foot, finding him hiding between houses. He immediately surrenders. Get on the ground! In this slow motion replay, notice how the suspect throws an object in his right hand just before getting tased, likely the handgun magazine. The suspect is handcuffed and taken into custody. The knife, the gun, and the magazine are recovered as evidence at the scene. No one was injured by the police gunfire. The suspect was taken to the hospital as a precaution and then booked on several felony charges. The convenience store shooting victim was hospitalized, but at last report was in stable condition. Next up, a slow-speed chase that ends with an arrest after the suspect hitches a ride that takes him straight to jail. It's June of 2023 when police spot someone riding on a moped on Interstate 94 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Two-wheeled vehicle with only a 50cc engine is seen in traffic. He dismounts from the scooter, walks at a short distance, and lifts the two-wheeler up to try to get it over the divider wall in the middle of the freeway. He does all this while cars whiz by in 4 lanes of traffic going each way. He gets the moped over to the other side first. Then he climbs over the divider himself and lowers his ride to the pavement from the other side. Since he's not stopping, a radio call goes out to law enforcement that something has to be done about this runaway moped rider. Just moments later, he doesn't just go against traffic, he drives into it, cutting across all 4 lanes of the freeway and onto the right shoulder. He keeps going, driving against traffic, and even cutting across an exit ramp, seemingly oblivious. Notice how a black sedan swerves around him as its driver takes the exit, making sure to steer clear of the reckless moped driver. A radio call goes out that the suspect may have a record of other crimes.
He possibly wanted in some gun cases.
The camera follows the moped as the suspect drives it under an overpass. As he emerges from underneath the overpass, we can see a dark-colored SUV slowing on the right shoulder to intercept him. The scooter rider steers into oncoming traffic. The other cars slow down to avoid hitting him. He continues to elude law enforcement, although the calls going out on the radio track his every move.
Scooter guy is now on the right shoulder in South 94 under 57, if anybody's close.
As he approaches a safety barrier set up on the shoulder, he steers back into oncoming traffic, cutting in front of cars heading straight for him. Here's another angle showing the moped rider moving straight into traffic as police follow his location. He ends up in the far left lane. A short time later, he's seen going under another overpass. A call goes out tracking his whereabouts and his predilection for going against traffic.
Just south of 694.
still the wrong way.
He heads straight for an on-ramp, except he treats it like an exit. He rounds the ramp without hitting any other cars or causing any accidents, and then makes his way back to the freeway.
He's going down to 694, 61 through the grass.
As he heads up the freeway with the flow of traffic this time, the suspect makes a sudden move that has the police talking.
He's running northbound. Running northbound, Metro.
Here we can see a state trooper commandeering a civilian vehicle for the chase. Police radio calls indicate that the suspect has abandoned the moped and is approaching other vehicles trying to get a ride. Finally, the bulletin is heard that he has climbed into a trailer being pulled by a pickup.
Silver truck with a trailer. He's on the trailer eastbound.
The truck passes a law enforcement vehicle and immediately pulls over to the side of the road. The civilian vehicle, commandeered by the state trooper, is right behind. The suspect can be seen sitting on the trailer. The trooper gets out of the civilian vehicle just as the other officers get out of their police cars. After a lengthy chase on a moped, the suspect doesn't run or make any visible signs of resisting arrest. It's over, and he seems to know it.
Troopers and officers taking party into custody, 694, 652.
After being taken into custody, the suspect, identified only as an 18-year-old male, is walked over to a waiting police car. The moped he was riding in turned out to be stolen. The suspect was charged with theft of the moped and fleeing from police. He had an extensive criminal history. No further information is available. Coming up, would you like some ketchup with that? Or how about bullets? And this.
Can you put my package back, please? Both of them.
Opioid addiction gets between you and what you love. Once monthly Sublocade may help you move forward in your recovery. Sublocade with counseling and psychosocial support treats